uh, Oracle DBA, who is having 14 plus years of experience working with the industries, and around 5 plus years of professional trainer experience with the training to giving the working professional as well as the freshers, and have quite a good experience in Oracle database administration as well as Oracle database backup tools, Oracle Golden Gate, Oracle RAG, and Oracle RDS. Oracle RDS is based on AWS, and I'm very friendly, polite, as well as if you want to have any doubts during the training, then you can reach me to clarify your issues. Uh, we also I will help you in preparing the interviews and provide the some kind of basic demo means mock interviews on that for Oracle DBA. And the next slide, the demo was regards to the Oracle DBA. So in the demo we are covering uh, what is Oracle database, roles of an Oracle DBA, what is RDBMS, what is DBMS. First we will cover, and then the RDBMS. We will covering the Oracle database, Oracle instance. Also, we are covering Oracle database architecture overview. These are the points which we are covering into the demo class. And the next point is Oracle mandatory process. And then the last point is undo and redo data. So before to moving to my next slide, I like to brief about our points which we are covering into the demo class. What is Oracle database? So Oracle database is nothing but a collection of information that is organized so that it can be easily accessed or managed or updated in a system that is called Oracle database. Not Oracle. I'm sorry, I'm using Oracle, but it is called as database. So where we are keeping the data and some kind of information, either it's related to the some entity or attributes, whatever it may be, we are keeping some information in the database. So the second point is, so we are here to get the training on DBA technologies, and we are covering here Oracle DBA. So what is DBA? What is the role of the DBA in the industry? So when we are joined as a junior DBA or senior DBA in the organization, what we need to do? What is our primary role in that organization? So to maintain and managing the database, the primary role of the DBA, so it includes maintaining and managing means it includes like installation, configuration, upgrade, and migrate the database. This is the primary, it's like first thing where we need to install the software, create the database, configure the parameters depending on the customer requirement. Then whenever we required, we need to upgrade the software. If required, they want to migrate some database from one server to other server or one environment to other environment. This kind of activity we need to perform. And apart from this, that we need to take the we need to work on the backup and recovery tech things, where we need to create some backup scenarios or backup strategy of that organization for which we are working. And backup means it is a strategy means like uh, what kind of tools we are available in the our DBA technology or software. So we need to use those tools and schedule that backup accordingly within on the off hours of business hour of the client. The third point is data and the database security. So we need to more focused on the security, what kind of roles or privileges we are providing to the user, how can we secure, how can we audit the database. Point we may need to be focused on, because these are also the main part of the DBA responsibility. And after that, we need to work on or create the capacity planning and storage planning on the database. If we are having the some kind of uh, database, then it is kind of considered as it is a HR database, and we are inserting data related to the employees, departments, and those things. So every time the data will be increased. After 5 months, after 6 months or 1 year, you need to plan for the capacity. What kind of capacity we have. So these things uh, we need to be planned and create add some space so that the database can work smoothly till 6 months or 1 year. That is called as a storage and capacity planning. And we need to focus on performance monitoring as well as tuning. So we need to repeatedly check for the performance related issues or for how database is performing. If required, we need to tune the SQLs, and the SQL means structure query languages, where we used to manipulate the data from database, or some upgrade insert we used to do. So during that transition, the database should perform the well. If it is not performing, then you need to tune the SQL with the help of developer as well. Or if you want to more elaborate and more working on it, then you can tune this queries. But mostly we need to take the help from the developer to tune the query. And then the troubleshooting point. Database troubleshooting means we need to check the alert log files, trails files. If we are getting any kind of errors into that, or errors, on those or errors, we need to act on the database so that we can resolve those or errors. Apart from that, we have the high availability system. Now, current world, any client won't ask us to how much time they access the database, but most of the time the database should be accessible to the end users or the client. For that reason, we have the multiple technologies in the Oracle. So those kind of Oracle we use, and we create the high availability environment. Based on the requirement, we can create those things. So this is the role of the Oracle DBA in general. And moreover, we have some other things also we will covering in our upcoming sessions. So coming to the third point, what is RDBMS? So uh, first, it is like a DBMS systems, database management systems, where we have the software which where in that software we have to define, manipulate, and retrieve the data. So database management system will store the data in the form of rows and columns, and uh, we are keeping those rows and columns in the form of table. So it is called as a database management system, where we are defining, manipulating, and the retrieving, updating the data. That is called database management system. And what is RDBMS? So database management system is the earlier one. Why the RDBMS came into the picture? So any entity like HR or finance, those entities are interlinked from one table to the another table. See, if we have the HR entity, and entity means like HR client where we need to create the database for the HR. So HR is not one person handling the complete company. So we have some other relation with the departments, what kind of departments we have, what kind of employees we have. So based on this, these are the interlinked with each other. So that is called, that is at that relational database system came into the picture. So these tables are interlinked with each other. So that's the reason it is called as a relational database system. And coming to the fourth point, Oracle database and the Oracle instance. Oracle database is nothing but a physical files, operating system physical files, where we can see the files. Like uh, maybe you're not aware of it, but we have the data files, relog files, control files, password files. These kind of files we can see in the operating system location. And whereas Oracle instance is the uh, some kind of memory structure as well as the background processes contain the Oracle instance. So what is the memory structure means, like we have the SGA and the PGA and the memory background processes are like DB writer, log writer, archiver, checkpoint, SMON, PMON. So these kind of mandatory background processes we have in every version of the database, Oracle database. So Oracle instance nothing but a processing the data, whatever present in the database, that is processing the data. For that we use Oracle instance, and the database is nothing but a physical operating system physical files. And coming to the fifth point, Oracle database architecture overview. So I'm moving to the next slide for this. So this is the architecture of the Oracle database, where we have the Oracle instance, and in Oracle instance we have the SGA. SGA is nothing but a system global area where the complete whatever transaction we are doing, that come into the this SGA, and it will check some kind of, it will do some kind of checking, some kind of data manipulation. It will do whatever things it will do. It will provide some kind of information. So when any user fired any query, so it will create the server process and allocate some PGA memory, and then it come into the shared pool. It will check the format of the query, and what kind of query using which objects. So based on that, it will pull the record from the database buffer cache. If in the database buffer cache data won't be there, it will directly communicate with the data files. So it is all about the Oracle architecture. It is a mandatory architecture. So in every version, you can see these kind of mandatory background processes as well as the memory structure. See, the database is nothing but these the physical files, and this is the database instance. What earlier I explained on that. Moving to the previous slide. So these are the like Oracle mandatory processes. The 6th point, we need to move the next slide. So these are the memory structure, means like background processes: SMON, PMON, DB writer, log writer, and checkpoint. SMON is nothing but a system monitoring. So is it's monitor the system, and if any abnormally system goes down, so it will recover by its own. The database is recovered and keep into this consistent level. PMON is a process monitoring, the where it used to monitor the process. if it is like having at any sort of particular time, I am connected to the database and my session got disconnected. So in that process, I am updating or inserting some data. So it will clear those things. Whatever present in the database buffer cache or somewhere log buffer cache, whatever session, data is present related to the my session, it which is not committed. So this kind of data it will clear. And then if my session is ideal for some time, so it will also check for the how much time it will be having the timeout, how much time it will require to timeout. So complete process related monitoring will do by the process, PMON process. And the DB writer, whatever DB writer will do, uh, like from the database buffer cache, whatever updated data was there and committed data, when we commit the data, then it will write data from the database buffer cache to the data files. Same way, log writer, what it will do, it will write the data from redo log buffer cache to the redo logs. And checkpoint, whenever we commit any data, so it will checkpoint will occur. Sorry, checkpoint will occur, and it will trigger the DB writer to write the data into the data file. At the same time, checkpoint, what checkpoint will do? It will update the SCN number, like system change number. For the why we use system change number? System change number is used for if the database is consistent or not. So it will update the data file header as well as the control file, because both the files need to be updated. What level of means like for keeping the database consistent, we need checkpoint will update data files header and the control file. So checkpoint will occur at commit or um, some kind of database dirty buffer is there, so that needs to be write to the data files. So at that time checkpoint will occur. Moving to the previous slide, the seventh point, undo and redo data. So redo data means whatever uh, new data coming to the database, that is called as a redo data. And undo data means if we am updating Shrikant is an employee of sales department. So if I am updating Shrikant move to from sales to the finance department. So if I am updating the data, so we are updating. So whatever new data is there, that is redo data. But where it will go, if the old data is there, where it will go? It will go into the undo. So the undo data will be Shrikant was in sales department, and the redo data will be Shrikant was in uh, is in uh, finance department. So these kind of things Oracle database will follow. So we use undo and redo both kind of data keep, to keep the history of the database. For undo data, maybe for some time only. Redo data will keep as per our policies. So this is all about the today's demo, and we are here to cover this kind of topics during the complete course. We are for covering these points like exploring Oracle database architecture, installing Oracle software, creating Oracle databases, managing Oracle instance, and then manage ASM instance. So ASM is like a storage which is provided by the Oracle, and the managing database storage structure, administrating user security, where we need to create the roles and the profiles, what kind of roles and profiles will user have depending on their work. After that, we will cover configuring Oracle network environment. Then we have the topic managing data concurrency, and then we are covering managing undo data. So where I explained in the previous slide what is the undo data is, and we are implementing means like we will cover implementing Oracle database auditing. So also we are covering performance management, performing database backup using RMAN. RMAN is nothing but a Oracle tool, and apart from that, we are covering how we can support the uh, like take the support from the Oracle, and we need to create the SRs or something. So that also we will covering, and we will cover what kind of recovery we will do or create recovery catalog using RMAN, and what is specification for the backup, and we are creating the taking the backup using RMAN, that we will cover, and we are covering performing user management backup and the recovery, where we have some tools. And next point we will cover using RMAN to perform recovery. So different type of recovery is there, which using which we recover the database, and we will cover monitor and tuning RMAN backup thing. So in that, if sometimes RMAN backup is taking longer time to take the complete backup of the database. So those kind of we need to cover in this course, and we also cover remaining RMAN topics. We will cover the container database architecture. So these are the additional course resources where we can find the documents related to the Oracle DBA course, and we can get more information using this. And the first link is what? First is link where we get the complete Oracle support as well as the documents related to the Oracle database administration. Second, where we are getting the Oracle administration documents, not the support. So after completion of course, we will do some kind of project. Only one sample project I kept in the slide. It is related to the database maintenance for healthcare domain, where we will again install and create the database and write some SQL statements. Also, we will create the table spaces. We will create the user, what kind of users we will use in healthcare domain, and then we cover the login using whatever database user we have created on using those users. We will log into the database and do the write the SQL statements to find the some kind of data related to the healthcare. After that, as a DBA, I need to write some queries on the data dictionary views. So um, those kind of things also we are covering here. So once you complete this course, you will be able to clear these two certification, and we are covering 100% for the administration one exam, and we are covering 70% for the administration two exam. So whenever you start the course for the Oracle DBA, this is the your system requirement. uh, to install the software. We need to have high speed internet or desktop and the log laptop, and the system requirement will be Microsoft Windows 7 or above. Operating system should be there. We require 500 GB of hard disk. Either it's SATA or SSD, and we require 16 GB memory, RAM memory, and 4-core CPU. And software we will get software on these two sites as well. Moving to the next slide. Try to take the mock interviews to directly you go for the interviews. So we are providing mock interviews as well, where we ask some kind of basic or means like intermediate questions, beginners or intermediate question. So you can be prepared for the interviews. These are the questions, the sample questions I kept here, but more than this, we will ask to you after completion of the course during the mock interviews.